and welcome back to the Crypto Saving Expert News Show, where we talk about the latest cryptocurrency news and take a look at the markets so that we all know exactly what is happening today. We are joined by that Martini guy who is going to share some analysis with us this morning. Before we do, let's take a look at Crypto Saving Expert's website and see what's happening. Bitcoin is currently sat at $23,788, and Ethereum is sat at $1,665. So it's been a positive week overall. The last 24 hours haven't performed just as well, but Jordan's going to give us some analysis now and see what is happening. So I'll pass you over.
Yeah, first of all, we've got a nice new intro, I think, don't we? I've not seen that one before. Unless, how long have we had that for now? I don't know. I've not watched a Crypto Saving Expert live stream.
Someone was just saying in the chat then we need some intro music for longer next time, so we'll have to work on it.
I suppose there's always room for improvement. But anyway, yes. Looking at the price of Bitcoin anyway, at the moment, $23,816. I believe quite strongly, actually, looking at the hourly chart on the price of Bitcoin right now. Again, this is my very long-term chart. But essentially, right now on the price of Bitcoin, I think we're going to rally back to the upside today. I think that this evening, we will probably have quite a lot of volatility on the price. If you look here, essentially, we're back above this kind of, you see this band, this one that sticks out more than anything else right here. That would really be the last key level of resistance. So basically, if Bitcoin can break back out of this range where it's sat, so if I zoom back in on the chart and go to the 15-minute, essentially, look, if Bitcoin's price can break above $23,900, we're probably going to shoot all the way back to the upside, like up to 25K. And it's really that break of $25,000, the sustained break of $25,000 will cause Bitcoin's price to go quite significantly in the next couple of days. Now, it's important to point out, of course, the downside on Bitcoin as well right now, which would be, look, if we were to lose a level here at $23,300, then we drop back in, because you can see at the side of the screen right here, if I was to highlight that with some green, essentially, you can see here, there is a massive drop in liquidity all the way back down to this control line down here. So if Bitcoin was to lose this level of support, we would ultimately go all the way back down to this level down here. And at the same time, if we had to break above this level of resistance, then it's likely we trade back into the old range right there. So from my perspective on the price of Bitcoin right now, things are definitely heating up and getting quite exciting leading into this afternoon. But it's all going to come down to the CME gap tonight. And currently, of course, there isn't any key CME gaps open. There's one much higher than where Bitcoin's price is, and there's one much lower than where Bitcoin's price is, and Bitcoin kind of sits in the middle. I favor the upside because I still think that bears have not been wrecked enough. I still think that you have people that are opening quite significant short positions at these levels in anticipation that actually this is the top. But if it wasn't the top, what happens to those shorts? What about if they keep getting squeezed? And from my perspective, is there a good reason to believe that we're at the top right now? No, there isn't a good reason to believe that we're at the top right now, especially like given some perspective on the market and where we're actually at. This is where the price of Bitcoin currently is on the chart. And if we zoom out, like, would you really want to call that the top of the market? Do you really believe that that could be the top? No, I mean, this is how high we've been in the past. Like, give it some perspective. People are ultimately like perma bearish on this stuff because when you're coming out of a bad financial time and the markets are starting to recover, it takes a long time for people to get their heads around the way that the markets are going. And the first movers gain first mover advantage. I tend to always be a first mover because I always tend to jump the gun. If I was a sprinter, I'd get disqualified from every single race because I'm pretty much early to every single trade, but the trades are always correct. They're just early. Again, buying Bitcoin, buying the dip at $40,000, it's not incorrect. It's just early. It was way too early, but the point is, it'll look like a smart decision in a couple of years' time when Bitcoin's trading above 100K. So it's an interesting one where Bitcoin's price currently sits, but we're looking basically at a resistance level at 23,900 and a support level at 23,300. Break of either one will result in further price action in that continued direction. But as it sits right now, essentially, I'm looking at this range on the chart that you can see here. That is your key gap in liquidity. From my perspective, we probably will fill that liquidity gap. I look for gaps on the charts, and those gaps tend to fill. And my target on the price of Bitcoin remains $29,000 or $28,900. And that is where I aim to take profits on my open Bitcoin trades at this moment in time. And if you are enjoying today's live stream, please do drop a like on it and make sure you subscribe to this channel. This is Crypto Saving Expert YouTube channel. Jess goes live every single day, apart from on Saturday and Sunday, because she doesn't want to work weekends for some reason. I don't understand why. Perhaps some of you can convince her to do work weekends, but she won't. But essentially, yeah, when it comes to crypto saving expert. It's my business, as you know, and slap a like on this video. I would appreciate it. But yeah, that kind of concludes today's Bitcoin analysis.
Yeah, very nice. That's similar thoughts to what I'm looking at. I'm just trying to dollar cost average in and dollar cost average out whenever there's a pump or a dump. So at the moment, it's not looking too bad. Things are looking positive for 2023. First of all, let's move on to some of the news on today's stream. We have quite a lot of news to discuss today, and it's all pretty interesting. First of all, we have Sam Bankman-Fried might go back to jail. So there's a possibility that he's engaged with some witness tampering or attempting to do so. Again, nothing he does surprises me at this point. So it's just another thing that we can expect from him. They're saying if this is proven to be true, they have no choice but to revoke his bail and keep him behind bars till his trial in October. Now, a couple of his trials have been pushed to a later date this week as well, and we have seen some other news about Sam Bankman-Fried. Nothing surprises me now. It's just it's just more news to add to the pile.
I would be surprised if he gets done for witness tampering as well. And to be honest, the trial in October will likely get kicked back and kicked back and kicked back if it's anything like what happened with Mt. Gox back in the day that just got delayed and delayed. I want to know, is that photo on that image real? Is that a real photo that was taken?
I believe that it's got it from yesterday, but I don't know. And we need to.
Yeah, so it's a real photo. That's a funny one for Sam to take, to stare directly into the lens of a photographer. What a bold man he is. But yeah, no, that you mean it's interesting nonetheless that Sam may or may not go back to jail for witness tampering. I mean, the guy, what a fall from grace, unfortunately for Sam. But you know, the market will keep moving. Bitcoin's price ultimately doesn't care about Sam anymore. FTX has left the building, so it doesn't really matter at this point.
This is what we were explaining yesterday of how he was ideal. He was like the king of crypto for so long, and then he's ruined that reputation. But now he doesn't have an impact on the markets anymore. The markets have recovered from what happened with FTX, and now he's just old news.
Yeah, old news. And yeah, I mean, I wonder actually what his portfolio is worth these days, because I bet he's still very wealthy, but how much of it is he actually going to lose in this court case? I think, to be honest, the result of Sam's court case is going to go like this. It's going to be Sam gets 0 jail time, but he has to give away every single penny that he has. And to be honest, I reckon he'll go for it. And then within 3 weeks of him being out, he'll move to Dubai and set up another crypto exchange. That would be my guess as to the result of the court case. Because I also think that the government in the USA, because they're not so favorable towards cryptocurrency, what I am expecting to be the result of this court case is that they ultimately don't want to look like they've cracked down on it too hard, because they don't want to infuse so much trust in the crypto space. So they want to look like they are laxly regulating it, that it's not a safe space to be, that scammers do go free. And that's kind of what I'm also, you got to bear in mind how much money he put in the pockets of politicians and everyone like that. It'll work in his favor for sure. Apart from the fact that FTX is now trying to claw back all that money, but I guess it's time to go to the next story now.
Yeah, we did in yesterday's news that he'd invested $300 million into a small investment company, and they were trying to get that back as well. But we'll move on to the next article and see what we have here. Binance Research have said that most Ethereum stakers are underwater and have little reason to sell after the Shanghai upgrade. So the Shanghai upgrade is expected to be in over March to April. We've seen a lot of fear about this because it means finally those people that have staked their Ethereum tokens have access to them again. They can unstake them if they want to. And it's created a lot of fear because there may be some selling pressure. On top of that, we've seen a little bit more fear because Kraken is no longer allowed to offer staking in the US because they got accused of offering unregistered securities. And they are the third biggest staker for Ethereum. Now, this is all of it together, not just their US branch. So it will just be a portion of their amount of Ethereum staked. But this has caused a huge amount of fear in the markets that will have this selling pressure when Ethereum upgrades to the Shanghai upgrade occurs. But we did see in yesterday's news that Coinbase, I think was the researcher, that they don't think there's much fear in the markets because of this. Now Binance Research are saying the same. They're saying that those stakers that did stake their tokens are at a loss right now. So it's unlikely that they are going to sell all of their tokens and dump them in the markets. But as I was saying in yesterday's stream, I don't think a dump in the markets would be the effect of Kraken selling. It would be the effect of the retail investors being scared that Kraken are going to sell. So it'd be like the psychology of it more than anything. But we can take a look at this article.
It doesn't make sense just on that point of Kraken can't sell customer funds. And the only thing, the reason why Kraken staking is illegal is because the way that Kraken do it is they say, look, deposit your money on our exchange and then we do the rest. And that's not, that does break US law when it comes to securities and whatnot. The way that Coinbase's staking of Ethereum differs from that of Kraken is you directly stake on the Ethereum network via the Coinbase application to earn your interest. So Coinbase is only offering a portal into Ethereum, whereas Kraken is basically offering interest on your savings, and then they're staking your savings and taking a cut on it, acting like a money manager. The two are very different things. And so the FUD around Kraken is dumb. And it shows the people that are footing it don't understand the way that Ethereum network staking happens, because they don't understand the difference between giving your money to a guy and him paying you. Like he's paying you that money extra is different, because also still you have access to your funds when you stake via Kraken. However, when you stake via Coinbase, your funds get locked. It's very different. One is using the network and its utility. The other one is acting like a bank, and one is illegal and one isn't. It's very important to make that point, that the FUD around it doesn't make sense based on a lack of understanding from the people that are FUDing. Anyway, crack on with the article, Jess.
So within this article, we are seeing, according to analysis by the team at Binance Research, only 31% of the above ETH stakers are in profit. And they've said, we note a sizable amount of ETH was staked at prices in the $400 to $700 range. This represents the earliest stakers in December 2020, a group that is likely illiquid, given that liquid staking was far less known at the time. They added that most Ethereum stakers are underwater and have little financial incentive to sell at the current Ethereum price, at least on a purely mathematical basis. And now the markets are looking up, and we are seeing this greed within the markets as well. It's not like we have this huge amount of fear that's going to make them want to capitulate and think we're going to lower prices. The markets are starting to look a little bit more positive. So it could be coming at the right time, as long as the markets continue with this sentiment through March and April when this Shanghai upgrade does occur. But that is what we have for that article. We can move on to the next one. We have here, let's take a look. Tether says its focus is not the United States, but emerging markets. So we can see here, emerging markets, on the other hand, often struggle with limited financial infrastructure, unstable currencies, and limited access to the dollar. So Tether's focus on emerging markets has been a key part of the Tether story and expands operations beyond a single main country. Tether's focus has resulted in real adoption across the world. Now, this has come after the SEC has targeted BUSD, and we're seeing a lot of fear about stablecoins right now in the market. So we're seeing that they're not directing their focus to the US, where the regulations are uncertain. We can see that USDT stablecoin market share is above 50% again, following the issues that BUSD have seen this week and the rumors about USD having the same issues. So this is what we're looking at right now. What do you think, Jordan?
I think it's quite interesting because everyone fuds the hell out of Tether, but for me, I'm back to using Tether over the USDC. I never really used BUSD. I did not like when Binance said, look, all of the USDT stablecoins that you deposit on Binance now become BUSD. I didn't like that move. I thought that was a bad move, and I thought it's like poking a bear. It's not a great idea because you are ultimately stealing the market caps of other cryptocurrencies by nature of being the biggest exchange. I did not like that. I don't like the fact that Binance is by far the largest. Gone on mute. I don't know
I've just
what's
unmuted
going
it.
on here. There we go. I've unmuted now.
Branded.
Yeah. But yeah, essentially, I don't like the fact that Binance is so big. It's why when we are with Crypto Saving Expert, we talk about so many other options that you have as exchanges. Don't go with necessarily always the largest exchange, because that also is, if you think about it, like what's it, that list in the USA with the top criminals, then the one that's number one on the list is the most wanted. And so naturally, even if they're not breaking the law, they're the one that's going to attract the most stick and potentially have the most issues. So just bear that in mind. So from Crypto Saving Expert's perspective, if you want to use alternative exchanges, go over to the cryptosavingexpert.com website and definitely have a look at the various different options and things that are available. There's a lot of different options that will be available in your country. But yeah, when it comes to USDT, it's interesting because everyone expected that to go bust a long time ago, and it's not gone bust a long time ago, and it's still around to this day. I think that it's a good thing. I think the USDT focusing on emerging markets is exactly the markets it should be focusing on. It's important that essentially those are the emerging markets that they're entering into are adopting it as well, because I mean I've paid for things across the globe using USDT as a currency, so it is globally accepted as well, which is ultimately another bullish thing. It's just adoption takes time, and Tether's not going anywhere. USDC is not going anywhere. BUSD might go somewhere, but at the same time it probably isn't going anywhere. It's just people love to talk about market cap versus market cap, when I would argue don't look at any of these things. Just look at the number of Ethereum users. It consistently rises. All of these coins are based on Ethereum. The best metric that you can ever receive when it comes to is it a good time to buy or not is look at the amount of Ethereum users. If it's growing significantly, it means more wallets are opening, more adoption is happening, the network is growing. And if the network is growing, prices are going to increase. And at the same time as that, Tether's market cap is increasing. You might see the BUSD market cap decreasing, but that's only because money is transferring between the two. And there's nothing wrong with that. That shows a healthy market. People go, oh my God, there's been billions of dollars of BUSD sold in the past 24 hours. Yeah, but it's been sold into USDT, which you also generally FUD. People will take any opportunity they can to cause uncertainty in the markets, but they fail to understand that it doesn't matter how much uncertainty you can drum up. It doesn't matter. If a market's going to go up, it's going to go up, and you can't say anything to stop it. So yeah, interesting times.
I was in the same boat with the stable coins. When UST depegged, I thought I really need to diversify what stable coins I'm holding as well, just to be on the safe side. And obviously there's been FUD about USDT since the day it started. But the ease of use for USDT just makes it so like it just all of the time, every time I try and hold on to different stable coins, I used to try and hold USDC as well. Just in the end, it always ends up back in USDT. But it's an interesting topic. I think USDT, Tether finished 2022 with no commercial paper backing the stablecoin. They are trying to be more transparent as time goes on.
Not only, but I don't know if we mention it in today's story, but they also made a $700 million profit in, was it Q4 of last year? In one quarter, Tether made $700 million of profit. This is not the sign of a company that's going bust anytime soon. That's one of the reasons why I use Tether, because even if it was heavily regulated, those guys have got bags. And those bags go deep. They will pay for amazing lawyers as and when the time comes. So, yeah. And again, any kind of legal case against Tether, it would drag on for years and years and years. So, again, would it ever depeg? We've seen Tether depeg countless times in the past, but it always repegs itself. So it's one of them. As soon as Tether depegs, when you get those amazing opportunities, I literally throw all of my cash at it because it's a free trade, essentially, back up to $1. It's been that so many times in the past. Maybe one day it won't be, but I'd be surprised. They've got the money to defend the peg hard. So yeah, why would it fail? There's no reason for it to fail. Also, don't forget that iFinex, the parent company of Tether, is also the parent company of Bitfinex, which is also Bitfinex is now using Tap, the XTP coins software, to launch their own cryptocurrency debit card. So will Tether issue a cryptocurrency debit card? Will Tether's debit card be issued on Tap's software? Wouldn't that make Tap technically the largest provider of card software in crypto? It would. And these are all bullish catalysts that will come at some point in the future. The Tap just need to do a good job on Bitfinex's card. When Bitfinex's card comes out, iFinex are impressed. iFinex go over to Tether. It's time for a Tether card. And before you know it, Tap's serving Tether, and Tether's market cap is this. Is it the second largest cryptocurrency at the moment? Tether. I think it's that. Go onto the caps page. What have we got on there? You don't know which one it is. The third largest market cap.
Yeah.
$70 billion valuation. You go on, Jess.
No, go on. That's all from me. Interesting.
All right, yeah. Anyway, but it's also interesting that on here we have $41 billion of USDC, $70 billion of that. So there's only like $111 billion currently of stablecoins in circulation, and significantly more Bitcoin and Ethereum than there is stablecoins. And we in order to see, one of the things I watch to know when the prices are going to go back up very consistently is I watch for when stablecoin market caps are increasing. Now, Tether's market cap is increasing right now. BUSD and USDT, their market caps have been decreasing. However, all of that money has been flowing into Tether, and Tether's market cap has been growing faster than they've been getting smaller. So because we're seeing stablecoin market caps getting larger, the reason that we're seeing that is there is more buyers in the market. And if we keep seeing that growth in stablecoins, we're going to keep seeing that growth in the price of Bitcoin as well. So yeah, that's my thoughts on what's going on with Tether right now.
Yeah, no, completely agree. If you haven't already, please make sure to like today's stream and subscribe, and go over to cryptosavingexpert.com and click that nice big blue button there and sign up. And don't forget to tick that box as well, to make sure that you get our weekly newsletter that comes out every single Tuesday at 11 a.m. talking about the week in crypto. I've just thought I'd mention that since you've seen our lovely new website. Let's take a look at the next piece of news we have here. Binance expects to pay fines to settle US investigations. So Binance have said when they first started, the company was managed by software engineers who knew almost nothing about the laws, about the risks and bribery and corruption, money laundering and economic status. So now that the exchange no longer operates in the US, it is working with regulatory agencies to fill the gaps and make amends to its early compliance efforts. So they are happy to pay these charges and move on and put it behind them, essentially. And that is what we are seeing here. I mean, nothing too much to comment on this one from my behalf. It's nice to see that book's being closed, but it's a story of the past, really.
We know that Binance works very frequently with regulators to ensure that nothing bad ever happens, which is why I know for a fact that every single piece of Binance FUD that you see about regulation is just not correct, because Binance is a consultant to the US government, to the UK government, to pretty much all major governments that are involved in crypto. Binance is a key consultant to them because the governments don't understand the way that they should regulate crypto. They go to Binance to ask them how they should regulate crypto because the governments don't want to stifle innovation. The government just wants to stop scammers, and they want to ensure that it's a safe place for the people of those countries in which they can conduct business. So the whole idea of flooding Binance is silly. It's just from my perspective, I believe that you should support the smaller competition. For example, should you use CoinMarketCap or should you use Crypto Saving Expert? Well, the small competition. Binance owns CoinMarketCap. I don't own CoinMarketCap. I own Crypto Saving Expert. Use Crypto Saving Expert. Don't use CoinMarketCap. Yeah, that's my thoughts anyway. Support the small guy.
On the point of regulation and helping them regulate, it's very interesting that Sam Bankman-Fried was helping New York try and regulate cryptocurrencies days before FTX were Charles for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and all of a sudden that blog post he did on how he wants to see regulation in the space just completely disappeared.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next article, there we have Metamask now supports direct crypto purchases in 19 fiat currencies. So they're trying to help users, instead of having to fill in a huge amount of information on centralized exchanges, it's actually allowing users to purchase up to 699 euros worth of digital currencies without needing full identity verification. So it's making that on-ramp a little bit easier, trying to help people new into the cryptocurrency space. Very interesting, because an issue that MetaMask have for beginners is that people have to use centralized exchanges and then transfer that over to MetaMask. So MetaMask were missing that huge audience of beginners, and it took people a few months of research before they understood how they could get their funds onto MetaMask and interact with decentralized applications through it, etc. But now they're stopping all of that issue and just directly allowing users to deposit onto there. Whether users will, I don't know. Centralized exchanges have a nicer user interface in all of this.
I would say that it won't really help so much with onboarding. Maybe emergency buys or sells, like somebody sees a coin and they're like, damn, I want to buy that quick. Maybe it helps with that as an onboarding system, but it probably won't help with much else. It's interesting, though, that you say that about MetaMask being a more complex application, because when I was first getting into crypto, or rather getting into, I guess, the Ethereum network, not really getting into crypto, but getting into the Ethereum network more, I used to use my Ether wallet, and my Ether wallet was it's Mew. I don't know if anybody remembers Mew, but I used to use Mew, and everyone used to be like really snobby about MetaMask, saying that MetaMask is for beginners and noobs and idiots. I would say that MetaMask is such a better application. It's a much more adopted application. It's weird. Mew is terrible. It's just really interesting the way that the market's shifted. All the OGs used to use Mew and a ledger, just Mew and a ledger, and now everybody uses MetaMask, and it's a much better app. So I mean, I like MetaMask. I not really related to the story, but more so it's just interesting to see how the market's changed over the year. Used to be like Coinbase. Everyone knows that Coinbase is an app for noobs. Like if you don't really know crypto that well, it's one of the safer places that you can conduct business. It doesn't really have the price charting functionality. It's not really something that you would ever day trade on. It's more so it's a massive retail exchange is Coinbase. Whereas and then people saw Binance as, oh my god, Binance is the cool one and Coinbase is for noobs. It's just interesting, the politics of it all. I think that all crypto gateways are fantastic, and we should not fund them because it doesn't make any sense. Like all of these platforms are liquid, pretty much all of them. Everyone that's issued a proof of funds is liquid. Anybody at this point on an exchange that has not issued a proof of funds on a centralized exchange is not liquid. So check if the exchanges that you're using have issued a proof of funds, because if they've not issued a proof of funds at this point, there is no excuse. They've had 3 to 4 months since the FTX collapse now. So if they've not done it yet, that means that they're running an illiquid book. And if they're running an illiquid book, it means that the exchange is technically bankrupt because they've lost more of users' money than what they've got currently in deposits. Request this information from all of your exchanges that you are using. Doesn't matter which exchange it is. If you've got money on that platform, check that they've issued a Merkle Tree proof of funds. It's very important that you do that. Anyway, yeah, I think we're kind of done with the MetaMask story. Jess, let's move along.
Let's move on. We have new Norwegian authorities confiscate $6 million in crypto linked to Axie Infinity attack. Now, the Norwegian krone, $60 million worth of it has been taken. Now, this is around $6 million. Let's take a look at this. According to the official press release on February 16th, the confiscated assets are part of the $625 million stolen during the Axie Infinity's Ronin network hack in March 2022. The funds represent the largest amount of money seized by the agency since its launch in 1989. Now, we are seeing a huge amount of news articles similar to this at the moment. We just continue seeing hacks taking place and the hack funds being confiscated over and over again. Not much to add from my part again. Do you have much to add from this one?
I would say please like and subscribe. I think currently we've got 121 people watching, and according to my phone, we've only got 21 likes. So if we could get that number up to 100, that'd be fantastic. Please do drop a like on this live stream. My thoughts on this story right here I think, to be honest, on Crypto Saving Expert, we need to do a collative article of all of the hacks that have happened again. I know that we do this once in every while, whereby we basically total up how much money has been stolen, but it's got to be in the billions again. In terms of, like, be interesting if we could make a chart of the amount of funds stolen versus the amount of funds recovered. That would be really interesting to know, because then you can work out a percentage basis of what basically the odds of you getting your money back from a hack are. In terms of what's gone on with Axie Infinity, it was basically a hack on the Ronin network last year, and it kind of kicked off the bear market, I suppose. The timing of it is literally when the bear market really starts happening. You will see the amount of hacks slowing down again. It's inevitable. Again, the less hack stories that you see, the healthier the market is becoming. Hackers, like, who is behind all of these hacks is a really interesting question. Generally, it's either like Al Qaeda or it's the North Koreans. Like the two terrorist groups and North Korea, they invest so much money in hacking, because for them, look, if you can go out and you spend $2 million a year on professional hacking people, and then that $2 million a year is translated into $100 million a year of stolen funds, it's worthwhile, because you're the government. You're not going to lock yourself up. And that's why North Korea steals so much money from the crypto ecosystem. Like most hacks, it'd surprise you to know, North Korea is behind the majority of them. And that's not even an exaggeration. It's just a fact that North Korea are behind the majority of hacks in crypto. And they have been ever since I can remember. North Korea has been a key player in the hacking space. They do it in the like you've ever wondered what, like, ransomware attacks, who is behind the bulk of them? It's not Nigerians, it's North Koreans. Who is behind the bulk of spam email attacks? It's North Koreans. Who is behind all of the comments that you'll see in the comment section? It's either the internet cafe boys or it's your North Koreans. It is that way. It's just a fact. which is an interesting fact nonetheless. Anyway, drop a like on today's live stream. How many likes do we have now? We've got 98 likes, so 2 more likes takes us up to 100 likes. But go on, we can hit 200 on this live stream now. Go on, we've got 120 people watching. Let's keep cracking, Jess. Next story. You're on mute. I don't know why it keeps putting you on mute. I don't know. Jess, there you
go. Someone's commented saying, can crypto saving expert cover an in-depth, where's it gone? In-depth, something about taxes anyway. So I would like to say that in the guide section, in the tax section, you can see some information about tax. This is purely about UK tax right now, but we will be growing that section in the coming months. We will continue to grow in every single section on the site. So if there's something missing.
I also want to add to what you've just said there, Jess, which is if anybody runs a tax advisory firm that is in America, the UK, or Europe, doesn't matter, but as long as you've got a tax advisory firm and you can accept significant amount of business flowing your way from queries and questions and customers coming from cryptosavingexpert.com, we're looking for a tax advisory firm partner, whether that be an accountancy firm or anything like this. We are looking for that, so please do get in contact with Crypto Saving Expert. I don't know what email can people email if they are, maybe like the careers email. Is it careers@cryptosavingexpert.com? I don't know. Just send careers@cryptosavingexpert.com if you do have, if you work for a tax advisory firm that you think would be interested in that. We don't necessarily need to be fully regulated accountancy because in the UK, again, you can practice accountancy without being fully regulated. And one of the cons of being fully regulated is that we can't technically work with you if you're a fully regulated company because of the way the law operates. But if you're like a partially regulated accountancy firm, that's really what we're looking for in terms of a partner, because of the way that businesses are structured and such what. But yeah, please do get in contact if you do want to offer cryptocurrency tax advisory services to people. We're looking for a tax partner. I've discussed now with several different ones, but I would say your average tax people are not so keen on crypto. They're not when you say, look, we might have maybe 1,000 customers every couple of months that come in your direction, everyone for some reason goes, yeah, that sounds like a really big company expansion. We're not up for that. But if you know anybody that is up for that, get in contact. I'd appreciate it. Subscribe and like today. How many subscribers actually do we have an hour? We've got 2,540 subscribers on Crypto Saving Experts YouTube channel. Let's try and take that up to 2,550 before the end of today's live stream. Come on, 10 more people. Drop a like and subscribe. Crack on, Jess.
Let's see the next news article here. We have news from Plan B, who made the stock to flow model. A lot of people focused on this model during the previous bull run. And he is now saying they wouldn't be shocked if Bitcoin went up to $42,000 in just 14 days, because we have seen it before in December 25th, 2020 to January 8th, 2021. And now a lot of people watched his charts very, very closely in the last bull market. And it did go to plan until it didn't. It had very high expectations for the bull market last time. So a lot of people lost. He got a huge amount of hate on Twitter as soon as his model fell wrong, but it's a model. It works until it doesn't. A lot of people made a lot of money trusting it before it failed. We can take a read of this article though.
Before we take a read of this article, it is important to point out that all strategies work until they stop working. The same applies as with Plan B, as the same applies with my strategy. Soon as my strategy stopped working, it took me a while to realize that it wasn't working anymore. And by the time you realize it, it's somewhat too late on occasion. That doesn't mean the strategy was stupid or the investor is dumb. It just means that strategies come and go. It's much like during the entire bull market, using the MACD and the RSI, we made millions of dollars. And then the MACD and the RSI thing stops working, and now we're using the VWAP, and the VWAP is working perfectly. But at some point, the VWAP will stop working as well, and then it'll be moving on to the next thing. It's just trying to spot what's working at the time, and then using that to leverage your own portfolio is what works. The same goes with Capo. Capo was right about shorting Bitcoin down from $30,000 down to $16,000. The issue is when the guy can't admit that he's wrong, and the price is now up $10,000 from where he was screaming for everybody to go short. It would be better. I mean, it's really difficult to know when you're wrong. So to some extent, I do feel for the guy, and I won't send him any hate or anything like that, because it's not worth it. The idea of sending somebody hate is just absolutely pointless. It achieves nothing. Put good vibes into the world and you'll get good vibes out. It's funny to take the P and perhaps bully a little bit on the internet just for a little bit of fun. But on the whole, there's no hard feelings between any crypto trader and myself, because The only people that had hard feelings between me and them is people that are salty or poor or lost a lot of money, and they can't accept responsibility for their decisions. You'll see that for me, the amount of hate on the internet has calmed down very significantly. There's really only one just loser that really dogs me on Twitter all the time. There's only one left. And to be honest, the only reason why he's bitter is because he's quite poor and jealous, and that's that. You just can't get rid of these people. I don't know why I'm going off on a bit of a tangent now, but essentially hate has decreased very significantly for the bulls. It'll come back at some point. It's inevitable. As soon as we start being wrong again, it is what it is. Anyway, continue reading this one, Jess. Drop a like, by the way.
We don't have the stock to flow model on this chart, but it was just a model that everyone was following, essentially. I would like to go back to your points of following the models until they don't. A lot of people that try and predict that a model is going to break before it breaks are the ones that end up short, because the best method I have found is just to follow the model until it goes wrong and saying this time's going to be different, it's going to change, it's going to do that. Those are the ones that get caught out. So that is something that I have learned from being in the cryptocurrency industry. But we can move on to the next article now. We have WeChat's Tencent taps MultiverseX to expand its Web3 products. Now we actually saw a huge. I had the price chart up for Elron, but I have got rid of it.
Has it gone up?
It's gone up quite nicely.
I've not. Oh my God, this might be amazing news for whales like me. I did not know about this. I have been hiding under a rug. Is Elrond up? Because we've been waiting for this for so long. Show me, Jess. Come on, what's taking you so long? Find it. Find it. Go on. Find it. What's wrong with it? There we go.
It's up to $48.90.
I was paying for the $300 a coin for this not so long ago. It's not. It's like, oh yeah, it's up. 20% from the bottom. What do you do? Come on, send it. It's going to get sent. I mean, you can see that big pump actually going up to $54. It probably, to be honest, is a good shout. I think, to be honest, I didn't know about this news before. And again, it's important to understand, if I didn't know about this news, millions more people don't, because I'm one of the largest investors into Elrond. I'm in the top 1% of Elrond holders. And if I didn't know about this news, it means that probably another 95% of Elrond holders also don't know this news. And it also means that 99% of people that are in crypto don't know this news. And pretty much 100% of people worldwide don't know about this news. Tencent is one of the world's largest asset managers and investors. That is big. Read the story in full. I'm interested. Tell me more. Why is my investment going up soon?
So MultiverseX have announced on Thursday it has entered a strategic collaboration with Tencent Cloud, a subsidiary of the leading Chinese tech firm Tencent. Both companies intend to explore new paths toward value creation within the Web3 and the metaverse space. So Elrond rebranded to MetaverseX in November 2022. On that point, I don't think that was a very... Multiverse. What did I say? Metaverse.
Yep. Get it right. Yes, go on.
On this rebrand point, I don't think that was a strong move from Elrond. I feel like it's got lost in the translation. That rebrand wasn't as strong.
This is what I've always said about it. Everybody knew what Elrond was when it was called Elrond, and then they called it MultiverseX, and the metaverse gets so much hate from people that just are impatient and won't wait for people to actually build various different metaverses, and so naturally it gets hit. It might be a better it could be a play like Facebook in the short term, rebranding to Meta seems like a pretty dumb idea, but in the long term, look, if it takes off and the metaverse becomes a thing, it could potentially be an amazing opportunity, could Elrond, and that's one of the reasons why I've held on to it. If I wish I knew where my phone was that's got my Elrond wallet, I'd bring it up on the screen right now. But for me, I've got an absolute bag of this. One day it'll be a good decision. Right now it seems like a terrible one, but one day it'll be a good one. And I can't wait to buy several Bugattis with my Elrond bag, hopefully.
But we have seen a move to the upside, but maybe not as significant as you hoped. I think the MultiverseX rebrand was a big risk to take, to be honest. But we can see here, following the partnership, Tencent Cloud will leverage the MultiverseX infrastructure to explore more products on payments, Web3 hubs, staking services, and the metaverse, according to if I try and say that name, I will say it wrong. The MultiverseX.
It's Benjamin Minku. Benjamin Minku. Don't say the J. Benjamin.
Where's the J? There isn't a J.
Yeah, no, exactly. Don't say it's not a J. It's Benjamin Minku.
Benjamin Miku, okay, the MultiverseX CEO. He said, from blockchains to AI and beyond, cloud computing is a great necessity and enabling force for innovation. Today, we are joining forces to explore exciting routes together. So positive news for everyone. It jumped over 13%. Obviously, we all wish it jumped higher, but here we are. Let's move on to the next article now. We have SEC charges Terraform Labs Do Kwon with crypto securities fraud. We've not heard too much news about Do Kwon recently. It started to come back into the news. We can see here a complaint filed on Thursday by the SEC accused Terraform and Kwon of raising billions of dollars from investors through sales of an interconnected suite of crypto asset securities between April 2018 and May 2022. According to the SEC, the assets included the algorithmic stablecoin UST and Luna, which were unregistered securities. They've said, we allege that Terraform and Do Kwon failed to provide the public with full, fair, and truthful disclosure as required for a host of crypto asset securities, most notably the Luna and Terra USD. We also allege that they committed fraud by repeating false and misleading statements to build trust before causing devastating losses for investors. It's funny that Do Kwon's name on Twitter is still Stablecoin. I noticed that this morning.
He needs to just put un before it. Dash Stablecoin. Why is he even still on Twitter? Why is the man not in prison? Like he lost the crypto community like combined $50 billion. I think it was 30 billion or whatever it was in UST, and then 20 billion in Luna. Why is he not in prison? That was a crazy. Just all he had to do was not defend the peg, and then it would have been fine. If he'd have just not defended the peg, wait for it to depeg, and then repeg it in the future, like what Justin Sun does. It boggles my mind. But I guess they had some financial interest in defending the peg or whatever. Anyway, continue. I'm distracting you again. Like the video, please. We're at like 115 likes right now. So get that up to like 150. That'd be amazing. And also, there's 120 people watching right now. We've now hit 2,550 subscribers. So let's try and hit 2,560 on this live stream. Let's try and gain 20 subscribers throughout the course of it. That'll be fantastic. Please do make sure you've dropped a like and subscribed. Crypto Saving Expert goes live every single day during the week. And so, yes, it's fantastic. It is Crypto Saving Expert, and you definitely be a user of the website. Anyway, Jess, SEC charges Terraform Labs. Everyone's removed Terra from the names of everything, haven't they, recently? I've noticed this with a lot of companies that start with the word Terra. They don't start with Terra. Like, interesting, like, I was talking about Terra Virtua yesterday. Didn't realize it's not called Terra Virtua anymore. It's just called Virtua now. Which Virtua is a decent project. You should check it out. It's interesting. Go on.
Yeah, let's take a look at this quickly. It's saying that it is also given an instance where UST was marketed as yield-bearing stablecoin that pays 20% interest through Terraform's native protocol Anchor. Now, we're all aware of this. It was a huge amount of interest to offer to people, but obviously it didn't work out. I actually was speaking about the stablecoin on the channel a couple of weeks ago. The idea of having a decentralized stablecoin with decentralized backing isn't actually a horrendous idea. It's just the way that it was executed that I would say is a horrendous idea. The actual idea of algorithmic stablecoins are an idea to be expanded upon, just not.
Well, I believe that every single exchange that listed this coin should refund the people that bought this coin. And the reason that I believe that is because if you have a drug dealer and he sells fentanyl instead of heroin and that person dies, that drug dealer goes to prison for a very long time. If he just sells heroin, he goes to prison for a bit. But if he does fentanyl, he goes to prison for a lot. And this was like crypto fentanyl. It is dangerous stuff. Exchanges did no due diligence. They went in search of high volumes to generate more fees, and those fees would then generate more money for the exchange, and then the exchange would cash in these UST stable coins for real stable coins. So I believe that at least all of the profits that Binance made, Bybit made, everybody made from these coins should then go back to the users of those coins, or at least all of the profits should be distributed. It'll never happen, but that's what I believe, because I think that it's wrong that none of these exchanges properly explained to users how big of a Ponzi scheme they were listing. This is the largest Ponzi scheme we've ever seen in crypto. It's ridiculous, and yet they all got away with it. BitConnect, couple people died in the end of that, and somebody went to prison. Nobody went to prison for this, and nobody has died yet. It's time we changed that. Perhaps not the die part, but the prison part would be good.
Let's move on back to you. And do you want to share your analysis once again? We've gone through all the news from today's stream.
I mean, it looks like it might break up within the next couple of minutes. So yeah, sure. Look, we're currently encroaching on this level. Oh, there we go, wrong button. Yeah, we're currently encroaching on this level of resistance right now. Again, we had to tap through 23.9, but we're looking for the hourly close above 23.9. To be honest, we're getting pretty close right now. If we break 23.9, we at least go back up to this level of resistance, 24,100. At 24,100, we go up again. I literally, during the course of today's live stream, since Jess read out the news about Elrond, I have now opened a $100,000 Elrond long position to add to my bags, essentially. So I just bought a bunch of Elrond as well. Maybe that'll go up. Actually, how is the price of Elrond getting along? Let's have a look. Elrond is going back down. So there we go. Anyway, yes. So, I mean, actually, my trade is now $635 in a loss. It is what it is. Anyway, on that note, I guess it's time to wrap up today's live stream.
It is. Thank you very much for tuning in once again. Please make sure to like and subscribe and press that bell notification button. We will be back on Monday recapping the weekend's cryptocurrency news and every day next week as well. So thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll see you on Monday. Goodbye.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
This is the part